So, what about that ending? We need to talk about the ending of Measure for Measure. As at this point in the semester, we should all be well aware these comedies have to end in at least one couple getting married. Though in this play, it's hard to really cheer necessarily for the marriages. Angelo gets married to Mariana, but this is kind of a marriage that he has tried to weasel out of and then is tricked into. So he's not fully a volunteer, and there are questions of consent there, as I said in the bed trick video. If you haven't watched the bed trick video yet, watch the bed trick video. What's my boy Lucio? Lucio is actually married off literally as a punishment. That he claims that it is worse than death. And he's told, well, that's what you get, right? You will have to marry this prostitute who you have slept with. That's your punishment. Sorry. The Duke is still a strict moralist. And then, most enigmatically, the Duke proposes marriage to Isabella. There has been no talk of love or romance between them at any point. At any point. And there's no talk of love or marriage by Isabella ever. We get this four lines. This is on page 2268 of our edition. This is from about line 478. If he be like your brother, for his sake is he pardoned, and for your lovely sake give me your hand, and say you will be mine. He is my brother too, but fitter time for that. That wraps it up. What does Isabella say in answer? Nothing. Isabella has no more lines in this play. This is a moment that's caused a lot of consternation, a lot of thinking. Your edition actually tries to make an affirmative case for something a little more certain than it should be, including claiming, based on like the results of whatever computer studies is currently in fashion, not the one that was last in fashion, not the one will be next in fashion, but the current fashionable computer attribution theories, that part of one of these lines is by another poet, like just one part of this line. To which I say, maybe, could be, but we have to deal with the text as it is. It's not clear, no matter how much any editor critic tries to sell you, exactly how this is meant to be played. What could the response be here? It could just be genre. That you could go with the assumption that any young lady, even one who was recently swearing off men forever by taking vows in another, she hasn't taken her final vows yet. She hasn't taken the vows she can't back out of. She's still a novice. She's still a training nun. But nonetheless, she was headed for a very strict convent when this play started, and now suddenly she's going to get hitched. You have the assumption like any young lady would delight in marrying a duke. Being Duchess of Vienna, yes, please. So there's that idea. You could try to work in that they have a kind of erotic spark all the way along. I haven't seen that myself. It's a little hard to do because there's not a lot of words for them to do that. Again, theater is a lot besides the lines. There are ways to put in body language and eye contact and whatnot, but yeah. There is the assumption of genre. Isabella is drafted into this marriage because we need our A-list female character to get married at the end of this play, so we know it was a comedy. If she doesn't get married, was this a comedy at all? I'm waiting because I'm not always laughing here. I'm a little disturbed. So like, I just one of these, I really need Isabella to say yes because if she says yes, then this was all a comedy, all in good fun. Ho ho ho! Let's sing, "Hey Nani Nani." Maybe. Sometimes this gets staged as yes, great. The assumption that you don't actually, if the Duke offers to marry you, you don't even need, an answer, right? But fitter time for that. Your opponent said, fitter time for that suggests a pause. Well, he hasn't actually talked her into this. He surprises her in public. It is the most toxic version of the Jumbotron marriage proposal on the partner that you have not prepared, especially the partner you have not been dating. So, yeah, in some performances, Isabella refuses. She just doesn't. She just walks off, goes away, like, right? In some, she looks stunned. Sometimes she does marry and she looks stunned, like, what's happening? There are a lot of performance choices This is right. What you don't have is the female character's voice saying amen. Not because Shakespeare didn't know how to write that. He does. He wrote Beatrice. He wrote Juliet. He wrote various female characters who consent vocally, unambiguously, and quite beautifully and lyrically. Isabella never voices any of her excitement.